Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to get through U.S. trade deal, got signed just on Friday, and non-threatening U.S. weather. Just have a quick look at it here. Now, U.S. reacts with mixed relief concerns to U.S. trade deal. So there's a lot of details still yet to be figured out on some of the U.S. trade deal, and that all by itself, like there's a lot of fine things that have not been figured out. But what it does do is reestablishes this 15% tariff as the baseline again with the major trading partners, even though Canada hasn't gotten anywhere close to that as of yet on negotiations. It seems to be maybe moving a little farther apart than getting closer with Canada, and at the very least. So Karen Brown put this out. It's just U.S. agriculture related products and exports, and you can see Canada is a major one, of course, and Mexico, China. So there's a significance here to why it's important to maybe get these other ones actually signed, especially for agriculture. This is maybe I thought it was just an interesting graphic. Ireland, Italy, Germany, and I did not know this. Like Ireland's major exports or share to the U.S. is actually the highest. I thought it was maybe would have been Germany or something like that with autos. But that being said, there's still lots of trade outside of outside of the U.S. So how concerning is it? It's not as concerning, I guess, if you look at it on this standpoint. Karen Brown just reiterated that there's still continuing talks on the tariffs with China, and that's probably the main one that needs to get done soon, especially on the agricultural side. Fed is expected to keep rates the same, and just I highlighted this area right here. Just recent data showed strong consumer spending, weakness in housing and construction. So below, you can see that this increasing in spending here, just the size of this economy and how it's just kind of ballooned here. It's looking at just shy of $30 trillion economy, and the spending starting to fade here on construction. So there's a few different things that would say, hey, you should be doing cutting rates, and then the next one is actually telling them not to cut rates. So, and the tariffs are just starting to show up in a lot of the consumer spending. Weather, the cooler temperatures in a lot of the key areas in the U.S., and that is actually keeping the corn and soybean and values of all grains grown in the U.S. Kind of at bay, because right where that target is, or you can see right here, this is your major growing areas for a lot of those row crops for sure. Precipitation is going to be hitting those areas as well. So rain makes grain. I know there's going to be too much moisture, but there's a lot more problems with not having enough. That is for certain. Soil moisture zones. There's some in the some of the I-state showing that there's going to be some deficiencies, and then you get out into the west. There's some as well. Your severe thunderstorm watch is basically covering everything here. Active weather going across. You can see that some of these areas are getting their showers that they were just talking about there, and nice little band running the Saskatchewan border again, and that's where the moisture seems to be kind of playing out there. You look at maybe a bit of a look ahead, and the same thing is actually happening, and it looks like it's going to continue to have these little waves going across and constant showers going across here. Your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. A lot of things look pretty normal to maybe a bit cooler, so there's no threat on the crop for tasseling and flowering. And the moisture is there, so you're going to have some pretty good growing conditions. And you've got near normal, maybe to a little bit above moisture in the 6 to 10 day. And then you flip the contrast to the Canadian here. You get the last 7 days. You can see that those showers are basically kind of concentrated in the higher amounts in along the U.S. border. Calgary is just getting hammered with moisture, and then there's another band here. Basically following the yellowhead, which was really needed. So the last 14 days, you can see that Calgary's just been inundated with moisture. And what I want to maybe contrast here is this is last week's data from the Saskatchewan moisture conditions, and there's nothing really threatening there either. And again, it's not up-to-date data, so you got some more moisture down in here. And yeah, we'll have to see how that's going to play out for crop conditions here. So just having a quick look at oilseeds, your COPA crush report. It's putting you over 11 million metric tons crushed to date, and you still got 2 more weeks or 1 more week of data. Probably looking at 11 to something million metric tons crushed over the 10.5 that was done a year ago. So yeah, we'll see how that's going to play out. Year to date, we're only running at 87.5%. Just a quick look at what is in line for us. Bank of Canada interest rate is likely to hold again. U.S. trade talks, and there's some nervousness because of the percent trade of tariffs that could come on August 1st, and that's going to happen this week. Fed Reserve meeting, and it's likely to hold there as well. And the EU news that actually quoted there earlier. So canola is down, oilseeds are down, and the cereals are basically just flat, with corn a couple pennies down. Canadian dollar trying to get a little bit of strength, but it's still holding in there. So if we look at this, you got the canola actually at the top end of this downward channel. So if it breaks out, we'll probably look for another higher level up there. But if it's going to trade this range, it's probably going to get down into these areas here as well. So and if we're going to get any indication of trading lower, here's rapeseed. It broke through that upward channel that it was trying to create. You've got the soybean oil still trading and trying to trade some higher highs here. But the soybeans, no, not a chance. It's still trading in that downward channel. A lot of the moving averages are suggesting it's still going to have some pressure. Crude oil, it's a nothing sandwich, still doing nothing. But here's, even though it's down today, it's still got a decent uptrend, but it is limited by the 200-day moving average, and right now still above some of the medium-term moving averages as well. Canadian dollar, like I had said, it's kind of faltering a little bit, but holding on, and probably waiting for the release of the interest rate and the text that comes from with that. The U.S. dollar index is actually trying to maybe bump its head against some of the moving averages here as well, finding some strength with the European signing of the trade deal. Quick look at wheat. Still not a good story. It's still in this downward trend here. That's Minneapolis for December. Still looking at higher values of where this can go. Still not made newer lows yet, even though Kansas is right on knocking on the door of going back to those values of where we were the week before last. And the same thing with Chicago. And here's your milling wheat, and it's looking in the same kind of boat. We're going to try to make new lows. And again, harvest is on this one at Kansas and on the Chicago crop. Corn, nothing favorable there either. All the moving averages are above where it's trading right now. So the trend is not our friend on this one. And that's all I have for you today.